Hi everyone, it's Cookie Lou in Arizona. How are you all today? I just came back from my therapy for my shoulder, and I'm on ice pack again. I think this is pretty much my last visit with therapy. I had an evaluation today, and I did improve the rotation of my arm, my shoulder. And the strength also has been improved quite a bit, which is nice, but I still have, the pain that I have been suffering, which seems to get a little bit more intense when I have a good workout, either in my home exercises or at the therapy session. I did go for an MRI on my shoulder and my clavicle area. Let me take this off. I do have pain here that goes up my neck and my shoulder, and I know that I sleep on my shoulder, and I think that was aggravating the situation. But anyway, just before I wound up in the hospital with my colon stroke in October, I was going to the recreation center gym, which I did a video on, and I took the opportunity to beef up my exercise regime, other than just getting on the treadmill every day, because of the fact that I do have a very low heart rate and bad metabolism, and I want to do something to kind of pump up my heart so that I would get my metabolism moving a little bit better. So needless to say, I was not doing anything that drastic. I mean, I was walking the track the way I walked the treadmill. I got on the bicycle, did some work there, and I did a little bit of exercises with the chest press, just going like this and like this. And of course, when I was on the treadmill at home, I have my small little smart bells that I use. They're only about a pound and a half each. And I would do exercises with them, as I was walking. I would just go like that. Anything to try to huff and puff a little bit. So anyway, the MRI got a partial report on that, and I got tears in here, and I had possible tendonitis and bursitis going on in the shoulder. The clavicle test on that MRI is going to be finished tomorrow, so I'm not sure what is showing in this area. However, it's probably all an extension of the same problem. Now, usually you get this because you're a sports fanatic and you work in a job that gives you repetitive motion where you're irritating the area. I don't do any of that. I says, well, it's not caused by that. The only thing I do is sleep on this shoulder, and that aggravates the heck out of it, so I stopped doing that. And bottom line, I'm not quite sure how I got this condition. Age is a participatory agent in this, and so is obesity. So my fat gave me another ailment to deal with. I don't know what to say. All I know is that the more I try to get myself in shape, the more things seem to be falling apart on me. But I'm not giving up. I'm still going to continue. But another reason why I've decided to do a plant-based diet is outside of hoping that it'll kick things into gear while I'll lose weight, which so far, I have to say, in the last week, I lost 2.5 pounds. So something is kicking in simply on the dietary measure that I'm taking in every day. But my intention to try to change what I'm eating and eliminating certain foods like meat and dairy is because they are known to inflame. And I am easily inflamed. I have conditions, arthritic conditions, immune system problems that cause me to inflame. So anything that I can do to douse out that fire in me, I'm going to give it a try to do it. Also, I want to get off this pill, which is a heart pill for afibrillation in the heart, which is an irregular heartbeat, which could have caused the plaque or blood clot and my circulatory system to plug up my colon and give me that stroke in October. I want to get off this pill, which is a blood pressure pill. And most importantly, I want to get off this pill. This is the newest pill that I was told to take because of the colon stroke, because of the possible afibrillation that caused that. This is warfarin, which is Coumadin, and this is my blood thinner that I have to take every day. I have to go for a blood test every week to check the levels. The level's never really where it should be. If I forget a dosage of this, I get screwed up for 2 weeks. If I change my vitamin, which I did, I changed my vitamin, that altered the effect of this. So it's a pain in the ass drug to take, not to mention that it's a dangerous drug to take. And I want to get off of this because everybody in my family, everybody that I know that's on this is usually in their 80s. You know, they've reached a certain place in age where their hearts are given out in one way or another. My mother has a pacemaker, my uncle has a pacemaker. They were put on this when that happened to them. But at 67 years old, I got maybe 20, 25 years that I have to take this pill. And I don't like the thought of that. So in order to get rid of this and these, I'm going to make this effort to try to clean up the internal part of my body as well as the external part of my body. You know, it's not just about losing weight. It's about correcting internal things inside me that are going on that could be, according to these people and the doctors in forks over knives, is definitely the meat and cheese. You know, I mean, there's plenty of people out there that eat meat and cheese and dairy, and they're perfectly fine. But with the conditions that I have being so inflammatory and arthritic, I think the only thing that might really help me douse these fires is to eliminate as much meat and cheese and dairy as possible. And I'm going to give it a try, like I said, for 2 months, and see how I feel, how it affects my weight reduction. And so far, I am feeling better. I am frequenting the bathroom a lot better, and the more bowels you pass, the more fat you eliminate. Most people, well, according to what the experts are saying, that really a lot of people think, you know, if they go to the gym and they sweat like crazy, they're going to eliminate the toxins and the fat from their sweat glands, and they do. But to really get rid of the fat accumulation is through the urinary tract and the bowels. So now that alone helped me a lot. You know, I haven't had to take any fiber. You know, that clear fiber, dissolve it in my water. I haven't had a need to do that because whatever I'm eating is doing the trick. So that's really why I'm doing this. Is I want to get my circulatory system, my vascular systems as clean as possible. I want to get my cholesterol count down. My triglycerides, which is supposed to be the fat globs in your blood, was considered a good number at 129. But there are still some numbers that could be better, and I'm working towards that. So that's why I'm doing the Engine 2 diet. I'm doing the vegetarian diet for 2 months, and we'll see where that takes me. I did get a question. By the way, a lot of people liked my slideshow of the foods I've been cooking for myself. So they were good, I have to say. There wasn't one meal that I cooked for myself that I felt was intolerable to eat. That lasagna was very tasty. It was not my lasagna with gravy meat and ricotta and the Parmesan cheese and the sauteed mushrooms and the olive oil. I mean, no, it was not that, but it was a darn good lasagna. It was different and it was good. And the only thing that I think I would change on that dish is I would probably cook the sauce. I made it as it was instructed in the book, and they just take the sauce out of the container and they just put it on. I would cook that sauce next time to flavor it better. I would cook it with my sauteed mushrooms and garlic and onions and cook the sauce in that to kind of get that more flavorful. And maybe just add a half a teaspoon of turbinado sugar, which is sugar and sweetener, natural sugars, whole sugars, are allowed in this diet, but just to kind of cut the sourness. That's the only thing I would change on that recipe, was that. But I think upon this as being medicine for me, about a good way of killing the mental demons that run from my brain to my mouth, that constantly crave sweet, flavorful, tasty things. I know that they say that if you take sweets and you eliminate sweets from your palate, from your structure, your brain structure, it takes about 2 weeks to kind of kick the habit, 2-3 weeks to kick the habit. They also have said that if you use even artificial sugars, as long as you're still getting the sweet taste, that connection, that habitual connection, is still present. So I'm thinking that if I remove the sweet completely, and in flavors in general, just douse them down a little bit, get my taste buds and my brain connection used to having wholesome foods that taste good but aren't loaded with a lot of things to impact the flavoring, like the cheese and the salt and the sugars that we usually have in everything that we use when we make a dish at home, even when we cook it at home. So I think that if I douse that down and get myself used to eating foods that I would consider maybe blander than I'm used to because of all the ingredients that I used to add in there, the cheeses and the salt and the olive oils, etc. I think if we douse that down, we adjust our palates and our brain connection to our taste, to accept foods as they taste in their whole natural, healthy state without impacting them with so many additives. Not to mention the additives and the toxins and the chemicals and the colorings and the dyes that are in foods today that we consume. So that's pretty much what my intention is, what my mindset is to try to get myself to truly conquer this habitual habit that I and many obese people have when it comes to eating compulsively and eating mindlessly. And the real reason that we eat compulsively and habitually is because of that need for taste, texture. A thought in your head, some commercial that we see on TV for pizza will put that, oh God, I want some pizza. The thought is in there, and you start thinking about the pizza and about the cheese. And next thing you know, you run into the cupboard and you're looking for something to satisfy that thing that sparked in your head that made you want to eat something cheesy or crunchy or creamy or ice cream or whatever it might be. And that, I know that plays a lot with me. That plays a lot with me. So I'm just trying to conquer my habitual patterns of eating, because like they say, the operation, the tool that we get through an operation is basically just a tool to help us restrict how much we can eat. But the lifestyle that we have to create is a whole different journey. And that's what a lot of us have a tough time doing, is changing that lifestyle. They might do it for a period of time, and they'll lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, and they feel good and they look good, and then they start creeping back into the old patterns because they haven't really changed the mind-mouth connection. And I think that's a big problem with regain, is that I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say I feel that the only way I'm going to really conquer this, after 67 years on this planet, it's now or never for me. I've got to make the changes that I need to make to try and really change that lifestyle. And like I said, I'm not saying that I'm never going to eat a meatball again, or I'm never going to have a piece of pizza again, or ice cream, or anything sweet. But I'm going to do this strictly for 2 months. Pretty strict. I said 90-95%, and I've really been sticking to that 90-98% percentage of just eating veggies and no oils, no sugars, no cheese. I'm really eliminating all that from my diet. And we'll see where it takes me. I hope that this might be the link, the connection that I can absorb into my psyche to change my patterns of always running for sugar if I get emotional, if I get depressed, whatever it is that causes us to run to eat something sweet or creamy or crunchy or whatever it is. Got to cut that cord, that connection, and I'm going to give this a try to see if eating blander, cooking lighter, eating more veggies, cleaning up my vascular system, my liver is cleaner, kidneys are cleaner, everything's cleaner. So let's see how it works for me. And I'm going to keep you posted. And if things are good, I'm going to tell you. If things are bad, I'm going to tell you. So far, so good. But it's only been a week. My question that I got was, am I getting enough protein eating vegetables? And I'm going to read from this book the answer to that. It's a chapter regarding myths, and it says myth number 1, you can't get enough protein eating a plant-based diet. Reality, not only will you get all the protein you need for the first time in your life, you won't suffer from an excess of it. To reflect back on that, when I went to Mexico for my my blood test for my surgery, they said the bloods were good, they were acceptable. The only thing that was out of whack was my protein level. It was way too high. According to Mexican standards, it was way too high. Now I had another friend, Joe 10. We all know Jody in Georgia. She went to my doctor, and she was told the same thing. I believe she told me that they said that her protein level was too high. So that made me think. I knew it wasn't too high according to what I was supposed to be doing here to pre-op for this operation. But according to the standards of other countries, I think Americans eat too much protein. So anyway, this kind of rang a bell for me. Okay, ample amounts of protein are thriving in whole, natural, plant-based foods. For example, spinach is 51% protein. Mushrooms, 35%. Beans, 26%. Oatmeal, 16%. Whole wheat pasta, 15%. Corn, 12%. And potatoes, 11%. What's more, our bodies need less protein than you think. According to the World Health Organization, the average 150-pound male requires only 22.5 grams of protein daily based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, which means about 4.5% of calories should come from protein. World Health Organization recommends pregnant women get 6% of their calories from protein. Other nutritional organizations recommend as little as 2.5% of daily calories come from protein, while the U.S. Food and Nutritional Board recommends a daily allowance of 6% after a built-in safety margin. Most Americans, however, are taking in 20% or more. Doctors from my father, Rip's father is Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. He's a heart surgeon cardiologist that's represented in Forks Over Knives. So from his father to Dr. Dean Ornish to Joel Foreman, author of the best-selling Eat to Live, the revolutionary formula for fast and sustained weight loss, all suggest that getting an adequate amount of protein should be the least of our worries. Look around you and tell me the last time you saw someone who was hospitalized for a protein deficiency. Or look around in nature, where you will notice that the largest and strongest animals such as elephants, gorillas, hippos, and bison are all plant eaters. Also, the type of protein you consume is as important as the amount. If you're taking in most of your protein from animal-based foods, you're getting not only too much protein, but also an acid-producing form that wreaks havoc on your system. Recap. Dr. Esselstyn said in Forks Over Knives, the extended interviews, that it's been proven in tests, over and over and over, it's been proven in tests, when we eat meat or dairy for protein, or eat meat and dairy for food, the internal casing in the vascular structure narrows. And it makes it, there's something in the protein of the animal-based food and the dairy that narrows it. And when they eat plant-based foods, it opens up. And they've proven this again and again and again. And when it gets narrow like that, of course, you get your plaque that builds up. So according to the science of these very reputable doctors, that's what they're saying. And that's why they're trying to get people off the meat and back on the vegetables. So, why is protein so potentially harmful? Because your body can store carbohydrates and fats, but not protein. So we don't store protein. So if the protein content of your diet exceeds the amount you need, not only will your liver and kidneys become overburdened, but you will start leaching calcium from your bones to neutralize the excess animal protein that becomes acidic in the human body. And that's what causes that to happen. That's why in the case of protein, the adage, less is more, definitely applies. The average American consumes well over 100 grams daily, a dangerous amount. But if you eat a plant-strong diet, you will be getting neither too much nor too little protein, but an amount that is just right. So anyway, this is the opinion of these professionals about protein. So my answer to the question, am I getting enough protein eating plant-based foods? Yes, I am. I am. And I remember Dr. Esselstyn saying in the film that most people think unless you're eating a steak or a lamb chop, you're not getting a good protein source of nourishment, and it's not true. So anyway, this is a lot of good information in this book, and maybe I'll read a couple more myths in another video. So anyway, back with the ice pack because my shoulder really hurts, and I guess now that I know I have some injuries here, I don't think I'll be doing therapy anymore. At least not in the same way that they had me doing it in the last couple of weeks. So anyway, that's all I have to talk about today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed what I had to offer today. And eat more veggies. Take care, people. Oh, is everybody getting ready for Vegas? I know I'm getting a little bit excited. I know I probably could use another week to kind of regroup and get ready, but I'm getting excited. I really am. I'm getting excited. Can't wait to see all of you there, or most of you there. So my son said he's going to make me a t-shirt that says Cookie Lou 46 on the back, so that when I walk around, people will know who I am. So look for the t-shirt that says Cookie Lou on it. It's me! Bye.